Welcome back, everyone. Spring and summer is a time for new growth and taking bold action together. So we hope these stories can inspire you to live boldly, take wise chances, and with our friends and family, make a difference together. Today we will be reading A Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, retold by Billy Aronson. So as we lean in with the spirit of adventure, grab a friend, like Jade here, and let's enjoy the story together. Chapter 5, Approaching the Giant. Maybe it was because the air was crisp and cool. Maybe it was because I enjoy riding horseback. Whatever the reason, as we set out for Snuffles, I found myself looking forward to the journey. After all, I thought, we're just going to hike cross-country, climb a mountain, and visit the inside of a volcano. This business about tunnels leading to the center of the earth is nonsense, I'm sure. Hans led the way on foot as Uncle and I followed on horseback. The horses seemed to know the way by themselves. They trotted around crags of rock that poked up from the ground. They waded patiently through muddy streams. They moved at a slow and steady pace. Not even my impatient uncle could get them to speed up. For almost a week, we made our way across Iceland towards that grand towering giant, Mount Snuffles. The farther north we got, the more barren the scenery became. As we approached the foot of Snuffles, the ground became less marshy and more solid. Soon we found ourselves walking on sturdy rock. I quickly realized that this rigid ground surrounding Snuffles for miles in all directions was dried lava. Mount Snuffles is a volcano that erupted centuries ago. The lava that came gushing out formed the solid rock they are now standing on. Spectacular sight that caught my eye was the geysers. These streams of hot water and steam spurted up in the air through cracks in the lava, like nature's warning signs. They were scattered around the foot of the mountain. But nothing seemed to distract my uncle. His gaze stayed fixed on Snuffles, as if to say, that is the giant I'm determined to conquer. On June 20th, we reached a small town at the foot of Snuffles. It was nearly 10 o'clock at night, but it was still light out because when you're this far north, the sun hardly sets in summer. There are even nights where the sun doesn't set at all. Axels is telling the truth. In far north countries such as Iceland, the periods of darkness in summer get shorter and shorter until the sun doesn't set at all. Imagine all the fun you could have if you never had to go inside after dark. Hans removed our bags from the horses and had the horses returned to the stable from which they had been hired. Then he led us to the local minister, who was able to put us up in his home for a small fee. After being shown to my room, I sat on the bed thinking, there was one problem I couldn't get out of my mind. My uncle's reasoning is ridiculous. I thought, how does he know Snuffles won't erupt? Because it hasn't erupted for 600 years? So what? Suppose it hadn't erupted for 700. Or 1,000. How does that prove it won't erupt next month, next week, or in the next hour? I hurried to my uncle's room to discuss this question. I found him looking very serious. To my surprise, he didn't interrupt me as I spoke. In fact, he listened with care and concern. Axel, my boy, he said quietly, I've been thinking about exactly that matter. Could it really be? Was he finally listening to the voice of reason? Was he really about to drop this crazy plan and let us go home? I've been considering that possibility for days now, he continued. I thought it over very carefully because I believe that safety is of the utmost importance. Yeah, right. I couldn't agree with you more, Uncle, I replied. I've come to a firm conclusion, he continued. My conclusion is based on the behavior of those geysers that surround Snuffles. My heart leapt for joy. I felt sure those blessed waterspouts had frightened some sense into my uncle. Before a volcano erupts, he explained, a tremendous pressure builds up underground. This pressure affects any underground fluids in a certain region. If pressure were building up beneath Snuffles, the steam in those geysers would be blasting away with greater and greater force. But as you can see, the geysers are spraying their steam into the air steadily and evenly. So clearly no pressure is building beneath them. But Uncle, I said in disbelief. Enough, my boy, he interrupted. With those peacefully spraying geysers, the earth itself is giving us the go-ahead. Nature commands us to continue. We have no choice but to obey. My last hope of changing my uncle's mind had been shattered. The next morning, Hans, my uncle, and I obeyed nature's command. Axel's uncle's a quick thinker. That guy could sell cat food to a collie. And that does it for chapter 5. We'll see you next time for chapter 6.